begging. But the truth is that you have to mention it so that people can be reminded that they should definitely follow the movement. And I'm your host, MS.ABA. In a bit, Donnie is going to join me, and we will be having tons of conversations about what's going on with this COVID thing, now in Africa. Rwanda seems to be the first African country that is also vaccinating their refugees. And also we will be discussing what Akon is doing in Uganda. What are the investments that are worth interesting, on the African continent? And Namibians aren't in the mood for Independence Day, and more of what's going in the world of global Africans. Hello, everybody. A shout out to you. And also, let's say 30 minutes from now, we are going to talk about our health with Dr. Sabine Fonderson. She is Cameroonian, a medical doctor and founder of Hello Doc. And she returns to discuss important issues relating to the health of Africans in the diasporas and the truths, myths, and facts surrounding COVID-19. Do be reminded, if you are listening on our platform, www.HiRadioNl.com, and you want to see more faces to, who are talking, feel free to come and join us on Facebook or on our YouTube platform. Hi Radio, that is. What we're going to start with, I think it's time for some good Ghana music, and quite of an international artist who's based in the city of Amsterdam. I think it's time for good music. It's Easter Sunday. Come on, let's get into some good vibes. Let's listen to Kwabena Awute with his record called Fine Woman.
Awute to the world. Your body like chocolate, African woman. Your body like chocolate, fine woman. Taste like I never forget, African woman. Body like chocolate, fine woman. Your body like chocolate, African woman. Your body like chocolate. Body sweet like cocoa, she shy, so we taking it slow. You there for my mind, but you already know the way she unwind, I go lose my control. Oh, say, baby, if I make up, so we lose ourselves in love. I go do anything for your love, fine woman. Your body like chocolate, African woman. Your body like chocolate, fine woman. Taste like I never forget, African woman. Body like chocolate, fine woman. Your body like chocolate, African woman. Your body like chocolate. The way your waist wine, following the baseline. Take it low. Take it slow. Take it easy. Now go trend on me. Yo, fair. Da. Maybe if I make up, so we lose ourselves in love. I go do anything for your love. Miss it from my man. Fine woman. Your body like chocolate, African woman. Your body like chocolate, fine woman. Taste like I never forget, African woman. Body like chocolate, fine woman. Your body like chocolate, African woman. Your body like chocolate.
You comfort me when I run far away. You comfort me when the going is good. You cheer me on, yeah. And when it bad, you keep me going on. When you gave your all for me, this is what you afford for me. Love and peace and joy in you. Yeah. So many things you are to me, and everything is all for free. Love and peace and joy is you. Yeah. Holy Spirit, you comfort me. And when I run far away, you come for me. When the going is good, you cheer me on. Yeah. And when it bad, you keep me going on. You keep me going on. Jejelio, change my life and you care for me. Got me connected to the source. Sign and seal that I present on a day daily. You keep me loaded with the word. Breath in me got me flyer than a bird. I'm living free, no more born to a curse. Listen to my verse, it keeps me dripping in anything but a hurt. So God, man's not ready. Show me my thing, revelation and steady. Shower me with love, like confetti. All I want is you, intimacy like spaghetti. Oh God, man's not ready. Show me my thing, revelation and steady. Shower me with love, like confetti. All I want is you, intimacy like spaghetti. Oh God, yeah, yeah. All I want is you, intimacy like spaghetti. Oh God, yeah. Holy Spirit, you comfort me. And when I run far away, you come for me. When the going is good, you cheer me on. Yeah. And when it bad, you keep me going on. Oh yeah. Holy Spirit, you comfort me. And when I run far away, you come for me. When the going is good, you cheer me on. Yeah. And when it bad, you keep me going on. You keep me going on.
Listen, that song is a whole vibe, and shout out to Angelo from Nigeria with his record called Comforter, produced by T-Babs. I've worked with T-Babs before. He has 2 records on my EP, and listen, this is a certified production. I also had Angelo as a special guest on my Instagram lives. You should really check it out. It's called #StayRooted, where I talk to creatives like myself as to, you know, how they stay grounded during this pandemic, how they keep the music going, what keeps them, the message of their music, and all of that. And it's super dope. You should really look out for that. This week I will have Nafi Mar, who is a Nigerian-based soulful artist. Very soon I'm going to have Flexclusive on as well. So it's really an artist talk, really about the art, you know, because I'm an artist myself. And a lot of times people like to talk about, you know, the trends and everything, the hype around the music. But I like to bring it to, you know, the actual creative process, the writing of the music, the sounds, the collaborations that happen. How do you get to your message? It's kind of deep. And it's quite different, but you should really check it out. Mostly I come on Insta Live on Thursday evening after 9 p.m. CET time. And it's good, man. We've had Angelo, we have other personalities on, we've had rappers, we've had all kinds of people. And you should definitely look out for that. Anyway, it's back. You're back again on Africa Unfocused, where we share our success stories. And coming from High Radio, I call it Amsterdam's most dynamic satellite and digital radio station that promotes African culture to Africans in the diasporas. I really want to give a shout out to Rocky Banks, Bee's Beauty Factory. If you are listening to us on Facebook, do give a shout out, you know, say hello or something like that, so that we could get to talking. I would really love to know what's keeping you busy these days. How is the lockdown treating you? How is it going on your part of the world? I mean, I have got to know more. Also, shout out to Bee's Beauty Factory, who's also checking me out on Instagram. I know, people see the flashing lights of Insta Live and they say, you know what, let me just check it out and everything. So shout out to everybody who is listening today. We have a lot to discuss on a news flash, but before we get things started, I just want to give a shout out to Hi Radio CEO Royal DJ Royal Baby. Now, don't ask me where the baby comes from, but shout out to him. I mean, he's 35 years earth strong, and he celebrated his birthday right when April began. And yesterday, also here at the studio, they had a mighty celebration. Unfortunately, I couldn't make it, but I just want to give a very big shout out to the CEO, the brain behind this platform. A very big birthday to you. And also, if you're listening, don't feel shy. Do give him best wishes, on his spectacular day. 35, I mean, being young, being strong is something that you should definitely be proud of. Keep it going and let's celebrate him. Is it your birthday this month? Please let me know, because it also happens to be my birthday month, and I'm just going to celebrate with anybody who's born in April. That's pretty much what I'm going to do. And I feel that it's worth celebrating this whole month. And that's why I just want to know if you want to give a shout out to also other people that, you feel could, deserve some warmth, some love because they did something amazing. I just want you to give us a shout out. Also a shout out to Cyril Ajako, who is saying, hello, I am watching from Suriname. Shout out to you, Cyril Ajako, and tell us, how is Suriname doing? How are you doing? I would really like to know more about you, and how did you even find out about this show and Hi Radio from Suriname? Alle liefde terug aan jou. All right, this is Africa Unfocused. I'm your host, MS.ABA, and Africa Unfocused has been made possible by Austin, which is your branding company. Are you looking to elevate your personal, company, or organization brand? By Austin is a brand and communication company that strategizes for you, specifically the African and diaspora markets. So make sure that you get in touch with them if you need help with your branding and communication. Also, shout out to another sponsor, that is B-Artist, which is a web hosting and graphics platform. Are you looking for a website, full service, or just designs? B-Artist is a platform that you can find. Go to www.bartist.eu, and I promise you will be fully serviced at that platform. All of that is taking place today on Africa Unfocused. And what we're going to talk about today is Akon investing in Uganda, Namibians not in the mood for Independence Day, and more of what's going on in the world of global Africans. First things first, we are discussing what's going on in the Netherlands. Africans here in the Netherlands go through things as well. I must say, just to give you an update on, how lockdown is going on here, I think that Holland can be considered as the laggards of Europe, meaning that we are way behind on getting vaccinated. The vaccination is now ongoing. However, we haven't even reached 1 million people of vaccination. Right now, where we are, we have a curfew at 10 p.m. We are basically, everybody has to be indoors unless you have your own fabulous or any reason of being outside. And next to that, we have our normal lockdown as it is. Not every shop is open. Now, gradually, they are opening up the stores. So what you can do is, let's say if you want to buy your favorite jeans, you have to make an appointment, digital appointment to come and enter the stores. Now, I went to the shopping center, I think the other day, and you can definitely see that people are not ready to wait. I tell you, if you are looking at your convenience stores, because I was buying, my regular vitamins and things, basically you can run into that store and just feel, you can just go inside and buy your items. But if you want to buy fashionable items, you have to be on the list before you get indoors. People are tired. And it's mostly because here in the Netherlands, the whole measures surrounding COVID-19 hasn't been taken on in stages whereby you can mentally prepare for. But it had been, we started with a total lockdown, then it opened up, then flights were taken on, and then people that are, going on holidays, they are not allowed. So basically there is an unofficial, let's say a unofficial flight standard where they say you can't fly for vacation reason, only when it's necessary. And so basically you can just say, you know what, I have a family issue, I'm just traveling because basically I have to deal with a family issue. So you're free to travel. However, even when you have to be vaccinated, the 3 days in advance thing, after you come, the quarantine, you have to go into quarantine when you return, but nobody's even checking you. Also, as you know, our neighboring country or our country across the sea, UK has taken into stages, tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, tier 4, tier 5, where they say, you know what, now it's extreme, now you can travel, this and that. We didn't take it that way. So there are a lot of hot flashes, safe to say. And if you are a business owner, you're owning your salon and things like that, you have a real strong uncertainty of looking at what the future is going to bring for you. So most of the people owning restaurants and beauty salons, they are in high stress. They are just very stressful and they don't know what to see or to believe. There is no particular fund, again, they can tap into to ensure that their business remains running. Also, one thing is that, the beauty salons have opened. I don't think they are allowed to officially open, but they're like, listen, we have, money to make. We have some costs that we are behind on, and we just have to open up. So all of these beauty salons and the people in the beauty industry are somewhat halfway open. So it's quite tense. People are tired. And I would be sure to say that if it comes to the aftermath or getting back to normal, Holland compared to our other European countries are quite slow because we don't tend to be as stern. And also government can randomly say, you know what? I don't think the store should open, or let's say we are to close in the next month or two. So it's really, really, really that bad. How is it going on your end? Shout out to Obapa Dufie, who's saying, I'm watching you live from Akosombo. Really? I love your show so very much. It's educative. Super, super, super. Thank you so much, Obapa Dufie, for also listening. How are you doing? How is lockdown at your end? And how is your Easter Sunday? We should really talk about that in a bit. Myself and Donnie will be talking about what's going on in the world. But it's time for some music. I mean, let's play something. It's really that time. Let's see what else is on the playlist. And I really believe that as this is an Easter Sunday, we should get into some good vibes, mostly music and some conversations that are happening so that we could really get things going. A bit of things on the playlist right now, but I think it's time for Nui collaborating with Marizu on their record called One. Let's do this.
I'm a partaker of divine light. I'm a conduit of the God light. Yeah. Being born again, I'm one with Him. Being born again, I'm one with Jehovah. I'm a partaker of divine light. I'm a partaker of divine light. I'm a conduit of the God light. Being born again, I'm one with Him. Being born again, I'm one with Jehovah. I'm a partaker of divine light. My life is His, I'm hidden Him. Higher than sin, we reign supreme. I want the world to know, I've got to let Him show. I'm marching on, winning souls. Till He comes, I occupy. So when I'm gone, don't be surprised. Gang, slash speed, I'm moving all the seas. I'm so building my bank back home. I'm building my bank back home. Spirit, Son, and I are one. Yeah, He lives inside and calls home my heart. I am good kind. Stop heavy, don't stop. He keeps going. To everyone I come across, yeah, He keeps flowing. Trying to bring me down, it won't walk, no. It won't walk, no. I move with the wings of the Spirit, far above challenges and sickness. And that's when I feel the tempo. Join me if you can feel it too. Dance if you feel the tempo. Come on, let's do this slow. I'm all about my Jesus Christ, the one who makes me shine. I deal in divine light. I'm a conduit of the God life. Being born again, I'm one with Him. Being born again, I'm one with Jehovah. Jehovah. I'm a partaker of divine life. I'm a conduit of the God life. Yeah. Being born again, I'm one with Him. Being born again, I'm one with Jehovah. I'm a partaker of divine life.
You comfort me when I run far away. You comfort me when the going is good. You cheer me on, yeah, yeah. And when it bad, you keep me going on. Yeah. When you give your all for me, this is what you afford for me. Love and peace and joy in you, yeah. So many things you are to me, and everything is all for free. Love and peace and joy is you, yeah, yeah. Holy Spirit, you comfort me. And when I run far away, you comfort me. When the going is good, you cheer me on, yeah. And when it bad, you keep me going on. You keep me going on. Yeah, tell you, change my life and He care for me. Got me connected to the source. Sign and seal, they're present on a daily. He keep me loaded with the word. His breath in me got me flyer than a bird. I'm living free, no more born to a curse. Listen to my verse. He keeps me dripping in anything but a hurt. So God, man's not ready. Show me my teaching, revelation and steady. Shower me with love, like confetti. All I want is you, intimacy like spaghetti. Oh God, man's not ready. Show me my teaching, revelation and steady. Shower me with love, like confetti. All I want is you, intimacy like spaghetti. Oh God, yeah, yeah. All I want is you, intimacy like spaghetti. Oh God, yeah.
Listen to your #1 radio.
Holy Spirit, you comfort me. And when I run far away, you comfort me. When the going is good, you cheer me on, yeah. And when it bad, you keep me going on. Oh yeah, Holy Spirit, you comfort me. And when I run far away, you comfort me. When the going is good, you cheer me on, yeah. And when it bad, you keep me going on. You keep me going on.
I'm a conduit of the God light, yeah. Being born again, I'm one with Him. Being born again, I'm one with Jehovah. I'm a partaker of divine light. I'm a partaker of divine light. I'm a conduit of the God light. Yeah. Being born keeps going. To everyone I come across, it keeps flowing. Trying to bring me down, it won't work, no. It won't work, no. I move with the wings of the spirit, far above challenges and sickness. And that's when I feel the tempo. Join me if you can feel it too. Dance if you feel the tempo. Come on, let's do this solo. I'm all about Jesus Christ, the one who makes me shine. I deal in divine light. I'm a conduit of the God life. Being born again, I'm one with Him. Being born again, I'm one with Jehovah. Jehovah. I met partaker of divine life. Come with all the God life. Being born again, I'm one with Him. Being born again, I'm one with Jehovah. I'm a partaker of divine life.
I am listening to High Radio with my girls. I am listening to High Radio with my girls.
And that was Nui collaborating with Marizu on that record called One. I love the vibe on that. Anyway, you're back to Africa Unfocused, where we share our success stories right here live from the city of Amsterdam on High Radio, the voice of the next generation. We're almost passing 7:30, and that means that, you know, it's let's say a good introduction to the evening. And Donnie is back.
Yeah,
Donnie.
back. Yes, sir.
How have you been?
I've been good. How are you?
Good. I mean, I can't complain. I was actually contemplating, and I was thinking like, okay, are we gonna do this from home? Because I want Easter. Listen, there was a serious jollof on the stove, and I was, you know, and you know that smell. It's still in my jacket, and when I get home, I am gonna finish it. You know what I mean? The plantains were ready.
What if you get home and the jollof is just no. No, never mind. I feel your pain. Oh,
those type of jokes are serious. Like let's say a random cousin showed up and he just finished.
Yes. Yep, exactly. Oh man,
listen,
that's gonna be hurtful.
Oh, that was just painful. Listen, a cousin of mine was gonna pass by, so it did come into my mind like, listen. What if he ends up?
Oh man.
But let's just not speak that into existence. That is, those painful things is like when you're in the moment, you can just go off.
Yeah.
But you know, it's a luxury problem.
It's
because you can fix yourself another one. It's just that,
but,
you know. Yeah. Let's not speak that into this.
Oh, yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
Man, but it's good to have you back here on the show. We have Dr. Sabine waiting for us at the back end because, of course, finding out, you know, how she's doing, the health things.
Yep.
Especially for our community, it's important to,
Yeah.
you know what's true, what's not true, you know, the things that we should be mindful of.
Yes.
And so much more. So I think that's it calls for a good opportunity since we've had Dr. Charles Ajimine before.
Right, exactly. Let's
Right.
follow up with.
Let's follow up with her. So I think it's good to have her on and just discuss some of the things that you know we should really go on. Hello, Dr. Sabine. How are you? Let's see if I can get the mic. Let me see. Is it this one? I am so. Can you hear us? Oh, that's it. There is a new mixer board here, so I'm finding my way.
Let's see if I can hear.
How have you been? I know. It's such a good Easter Sunday meal, isn't it? Oh man, that's a good one. And did you combine it with some extras? Yeah. Yeah. The vegetables, you can't leave out the vegetables. Either steamed vegetables or a good salad. So how has been this past period for you? I mean, it's been a while since we've had you on, and lockdown, but you still had to be indoors at people's homes. How have you been? Oh no.
Wow.
Man,
Wow.
sorry to hear that.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Oh man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Man, that sounds intense.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. 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 I was thinking, man, I'm bothering you on a Easter Sunday, but thanks again for making that time out because it's very important. And what we do notice, because we have been in collaboration with also the municipality of Amsterdam Southeast, running a campaign, especially among the Africans here, the Africans, Ghanaians, to raise the right kind of awareness
Yeah.
and to address, a lot of the rumors. Speaking of antibodies, the rumors around that and so much, And what you notice is that there is an element of distrust, within our community, and we need like familiar faces to talk to us about it, especially I wouldn't say our older ones, but the generation before us that is really, let's just say doubtful. I really needs people to talk to them about things. So these are the conversations that are necessary.
Yeah.
And also hearing that from a doctor, a black doctor, African doctor, also builds some sense of trust that people are looking for.
Definitely.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, sorry about that. Yeah. Yeah.
That kind of labor is not really happens. And I want people to be very aware of that. And the reason why maybe people don't think it affects us is because there's not enough data on ethnicity in the happens beyond that. The rebels typically don't release or don't actually record data because of the background.
Yeah.
In the hospital.
Yeah.
And in the UK and in the States they do. So it's a standard part of the questionnaires that's filled out.
Yeah.
The reason why maybe people don't think it affects their community is because they don't have that data. But in the England, there's a huge awareness campaign by ethnic groups, for ethnic groups regarding how severe COVID is. And the same thing goes to the United States.
Yeah.
But it is definitely, this is not a joke, there's definitely disparities between white people and ethnic minorities and ethnic groups in countries simply because of also the risk factors that is pronounced in these different groups.
Yeah.
And I mentioned last time, risk factors play a role. Studies have shown that people with certain risk factors are up to 30 and 60% more likely to be hospitalized because
Yeah.
of COVID. And once you're hospitalized, the chances of you requiring supplements, oxygen or IC, or even getting nursing progress is higher.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So from your place of your working environment, what are some of the things that you've noticed for Africans or Black people that you just that you are even telling people to be aware of? What are some of the observations that you've done?
So in the GP sector, what I have noticed is that the majority of the clients or the patients that actually have to see physically and sent to the hospital are typically ethnic minorities. Okay, so they are non-white, let's say. So that was striking for me.
Right.
I must say that the region where I was working at the time was probably socially deprived areas, so it's going to be a lot of mixed ethnic cultures there.
Okay.
So that would bias my what I'm sharing with you now. However, within that group, I sent a lot of patients to the hospital. Unfortunately, what I did see also is that age was not an issue in the sense that people think that the older you are, the more likely you're going to have
Yeah.
and hence have complications. I sent very young people to the hospital with very severe symptoms. I think the youngest that I sent was a young woman of about 23. And so the whole family had it, and apart from the brother, and it was really hard. It's hard to go into these patients' home where the mother is suffering from it, so she had it. Then the father had it, so he was upstairs, obviously isolating in the same house. The mother was just I think on day 7 of her symptoms, and the daughter was on day 3 or 4 of her symptoms. And the son was the only one who had it. And then you come into the setting where you're looking at this young girl, and she's just not able to breathe. She can't even say a full sentence because she's just having so many difficulties breathing. So her mother is basically also trying to tell me what's going on in the last couple of days. And then I go there completely covered up in the dark suit. I'm sweating, because it's just so warm. And you have to do what you can with limited tools to find out what's going on. So you can only be in that setting for a very limited amount of time because of the transmission risk. But say though you're protected, it's to say the longer you are in an environment with somebody who has active transmittable COVID, the higher chance of you getting infected. So I knew that I was going to be there for a limited amount of time. But once I saw the virus, and this is a young episode, and this is not good. The heart rate was like over 120. It's really fast. Typically, your average the respiratory rate or breathing rate, you're looking between 8 and 12. She was at 24. The temperature was sky high, and she was really sick. So at that moment, I recommended her that they were very good. So I contacted the nearby hospital, and I hadn't even finished by basically telling the issue exactly again. He said, right away. But then you imagine next time it's okay, how did you get there? They had an ambulance very much in the time, but they also have to come in protected. And at that time, very much it was completely cool. There were no ambulances available at that time.
Wow. Wow.
So I asked my brother, to take her. So we couldn't bring her also at risk
What?
of getting her to hospital. Because that was the fastest way to get her to hospital. That's just the decisions that we made. And then she was discharged, I think, a day later. And literally, the nurse were basically, they didn't really need to give her oxygen at the moment. So she can go home, and we give patients now a box with like a saturation meter, a thermometer, a blood pressure, and blood pressure. And you have to self-monitor this, at home. And then every day call the GP and say, okay, today my temperature is this. And this is now what they're doing, because the hospital is full. So these and if you're by yourself, I mean, this is absolutely impossible. And I've seen actually a lady who is living alone, and having to monitor her own health. And I went to visit her twice, and it was heartbreaking. I mean, it's heartbreaking to see what people go through. And these are people who survive. And now, that's not even start with those who survive and the long-term repercussions. Because the same people who have had the virus and have had symptoms, they have months and months of recovery left in front of them. A lot of them have to go to physiotherapy to learn how to breathe again. A lot of them need to go to psychologists because they suffer from trauma, because of, imagine you've been going to hospital and
Yeah.
the symptoms of not being able to breathe, like you feel like you're suffocating in your own lungs. It's very traumatic. So a lot of people don't fall asleep. They're scared of sleeping, let's say, so they don't get any sleep. So they spend the whole night, traumatized about what's going to happen if they fall asleep, are they going to die? So you can imagine what kind of effect that has days and weeks later to your mental health and to your physical health.
Right.
So when we talk about the risk of getting COVID, it's definitely there, it's imminent. And people think, oh, well, I'll be fine.
Yeah.
It's like, let's say return now. Okay, so we still know that the chance of you getting really bad COVID is still relatively low. But when you do get that kind of COVID where you need to be hospitalized, or you're really having difficulties breathing, think about the months and months of recovery that you're going to have and the trauma it leads to, not only to you, but your loved ones. That is what people don't realize. And that's what we see the most now, is the post-COVID symptoms.
Man, that has me speechless.
It's true. And I haven't even scratched the surface. Because if I tell you now, and that's for me, the heartbreaking thing that's hit me directly about how, because of COVID, people who typically people who need help, who have, other diseases, they can't get help.
Right.
They can't get help. Last week, I lost a friend of mine because he needed to have his kidney transplantation. But because of COVID, the amount of donors have gone down. So he was on the number 2 waiting list to get a new kidney. He passed away last Friday. He was found alone at home, deceased, because he was waiting for a kidney because of COVID.
Wow.
People have to understand that when we say, please stay indoors, please wear a mask, it's also to protect the vulnerable, the ones who actually would have made it had it not been for some reckless behavior. So it affects me personally, and so I am, moving forward, I will do whatever I can to make sure that people understand that this is not a joke. You may not have the complications, but the fact that you might be walking around transmitting the disease, somebody else will suffer, and maybe you will be accountable for that somebody else is suffering. And I don't want to get into that, but it's very hard.
Yeah. It brings it into perspective. I don't know, the way you're even explaining it makes it more real, in a way of what the impact is, because what I've noticed is that a lot of people are not just uneasy because they waited for so long, as to when can we finally get back to normal, but to also understand the implications of, the gatherings and all of the things that make the COVID transmission possible. Okay, so looking at your work, you are, on the front line, going to people's houses and everything. What has been is there any difference between lockdown now and lockdown Number one, is there some type of intensity that you see now compared to before? Is there are there more people catching it and less dying, or how does that look like?
That's a good question. I think it really depends obviously on the data that's out there. So in my personal experience, I would say that the first lockdown, I think people were really serious. They took it extremely seriously.
Yeah.
I would say I would go to patients more when I really needed to. So it makes sense then to go to patients' homes.
Yeah.
Second lockdown, I think people were less serious about it. However, we had to, as medical professionals, start seeing other clients, because the first lockdown made it in such a way that we were only targeting those with symptoms, those who were most likely to have COVID, because we didn't know enough about COVID. So we wanted to just be very specific and really target
Yeah.
the most likely to have the symptoms. And then as time went by, we started seeing more patients. So that was actually good, because what happens during the lockdown, you lose touch with your normal clients and your normal patient group. And that's not good. And that's what I mean by those who are suffering with other conditions. They're the ones who take it seriously, right? So they say, oh no, the doctor said not to go and go in, but I'm not going to go in. But they're the ones that you actually want to see, because they suffer from hypertension, they have pulmonary diseases, they have kidney diseases, liver diseases, you name it, or mental health diseases. And so they stay home, they take it seriously, but they're actually still suffering. They get it worse. And they're doing the right thing by what they tell them, go into that payroll, and you'll be fine. But then they develop their own symptoms. So instead of seeing them again, and this is really good. So what we would see were people who typically would be needing, let's say, continuation of the medication, they didn't have it, and they were really bad when we saw this. We were able to really do something about that. And luckily, hospitals were also more open then to just seeing non-COVID related symptoms. I had to have some conversations with the doctors and say, look, it doesn't always have to be COVID.
Yeah.
People also sick, outside that.
Yeah.
And now, I've taken a step back from general practice right now, so I've gone back into my research just a month ago.
Right.
What I can tell you is, because I'm still doing online consultations, but what I see now is what I mentioned earlier, is a spike in mental health cases where people are really suffering from this.
Yeah.
Let's say that I've been at home, working at home for a year now. I've been stuck at home with my husband and my wife, and I don't have interactions. I'm doing all my school online. They're really struggling with that. So people are actually reaching out to speak to a therapist regarding
Yeah.
depression.
Yeah.
It's just triggering a lot of mental health crises at the moment. So that's another thing that I'm working actively every day on, how to make sure that we catch people early on who are seeking help, who want help, who need help, and then we're getting them to very exact program to give them the tools that we need in order to cope with this pandemic.
This spike in mental health, right? Is that due to
The COVID itself, or due to the regulations and restrictions and the effects on, let's say, policies like social distancing, that is alluding to these mental health? Why I ask that is, most people will say, just lift up the restrictions, lift up the curfew and the lockdown, and you will have people who are not going to be that miserable, or this mental health cases will probably go down. But then that's on one hand, and on the other hand, you probably find another spike in COVID COVID patients, which is probably more deadly and lethal than the other one. So is there like either this or that situation going on, which puts medkits and the healthcare politicians in a very, very uncertain situation?
Absolutely right. I think you have to follow the
Yep.
debate and protest about killing the bill, killing the lockdowns, ending it. I think people are in all fairness, humans are not meant to be isolated, right?
No.
So
True.
we need to hang around and not only that, we need it for our economy.
Right.
Because the amount of businesses, small businesses, large businesses that have crashed.
Right.
Yeah.
If you look at the numbers of the hospitality industry, for example,
Yeah.
hotels, restaurants, they didn't make severe losses of producing more jobs. So I understand for any single person in politics right now, it thinks about making the balance between, and this is how crazy it is. It's literally about life and death, right? Because
Yep.
on the one hand, if you make people stay home, all businesses are down. Sure, you're going to get that, the transmission rate really low, and you're like, great. But then at the same time, you might end up having a spike in other issues. What we see in other countries where data is available is the rise in, for example, domestic abuse. Because people are locked down and staying at home, there's a huge increase in domestic
Wow.
abuse. Domestic violence, women's side, so men, boyfriends killing their wives, girlfriends, because of this lockdown.
Yeah.
On the other hand, you open up things up again, people are going to go out. Unfortunately, what I've seen, once you say let's open, people kind of take it as like, okay, great, we're going back to the way it was in 2019.
Yeah.
And I think people are just having a lot of difficulties realizing, we're opening it, but it has to be with certain precautions. And the precautions means wear a mask, keep distance, and go own those things if you need to. And that's where we're having a lot of difficulties convincing people to wear a mask because they do prevent spread. Full stop. And a lot of people don't want to do that. They think because things are open, it means it can be free for them to walk around. Like I said, before COVID happened, and unfortunately, until we get to the stage where we make masks mandatory part of life outside home, I don't think we're going to see any real changes, and we might be going fluctuating between 3 months of lockdown, 2.5 months, or 4 months of just, socially, getting out there again, and then going back and forth.
Yeah. So then, if observing or coming from an African culture yourself and observing the African society, how likely do you think we would go about with, let's say the government, the Dutch government will say, all right, no more curfew, no more lockdown tomorrow. Do you think that our parents, our brothers and sisters, and our children will still take that precaution measure of wearing masks, social distancing, and going to places only when necessary? Or do you think they will just rush out there and do what they were doing in 2019?
Yeah, the latter. I think unfortunately a lot of people will just rush out there and do what they do in 2019. And again,
That's sad.
my own personal experience, I witnessed this happened to me about, when was this, 3 weeks ago. So my partner broke his collarbone and he needed an operation. And on the same day he was operating, he found out that his son had tested positive for corona. So I became like a bad guy because I said, okay, well, since you tested positive, you cannot come and see your father for a whole week, And I had to put my foot down, and everybody was like, oh yeah, but I haven't come in contact with X, Y, Z. I said, well, regulations are that you're positive, and you just came out of hospital. So what I want to prevent is that you just had an operation, it's affecting his breathing regardless of this pain he's in. And if you come and visit him, which is fair enough, you want to visit him, and he gets the virus, and the chances high that he might end up in hospital, and that will be really difficult for breathing. So I need to play, I had to play the bad cop. And nobody was happy with me, but I said, this is how it is. So I think that we need as a society, and definitely parents, and I hate to say this, but a lot of them, because I have a child myself, and there's nothing more than I want than my child to be out there and playing.
Exactly.
But we need to be strong in this. We need to unite in this for the sake of our grandparents, our uncle, the person who over there suffers from diabetes or asthma. Let's do this. Let's get all our kids wearing masks. If they go out, they only go out when they need to go out. And even important. Because that's the only way you might have something of value to make certain decisions.
Yeah.
And I fear that, regardless of whatever culture you're from, community, you all want to be outside, outdoors. It's going to be really hard. I think a lot of parents have put a hard time to just say no to their children. And unfortunately, the ones who are creating these clusters of COVID transmission spikes are young children.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Let's talk about this mental health part. At which point do you notice, that there is a mental health thingy as well? Because you do the consultation. Mostly people come with symptoms that are, maybe such as headaches or maybe continuous pain. How do you even discover the mental health aspect of this?
That's a great question. I think it's about asking the right questions. So I've been doing online consultations for a number of years right now. In the last year, this is doing more often. Just last year, I did over 250 consultations, and it's about asking the right questions and actually daring to say, hey, listen. And I do that. I'm like, this COVID thing is a disaster. And how's it affecting you? Tell me how you're coping with this. And I ask that to a lot of my clients. And then a lot of them, actually get down in front of me and then they start saying things like, it's a disaster. So one client I had came in because she was, suffering from big symptoms like, she's tired and she thinks that she might have some kind of hormone imbalance and she thought it would do with menstruation or the pill. So
yeah.
Going all around all these things, I'm thinking, this is not, this is not right. And so I called the interview creator and I said, okay, out in the week's time, when you come back, write down your symptoms, what you've been going through, and then we'll assess it. So she came back with like a diary of what she was going through. And I always, when people come up to me with very big symptoms, I always say that, especially tiredness or feeling sad or pain that you can't really pinpoint. So I always say that there's a balance between your mind, your body, and your social life, right? And we go through every single component. So I said, okay, let's talk about your body. What are you feeling? So they say, I have pain here, I have pain there, I have pain there. And what's your mind? What's going on there? Well, I feel a bit anxious and I feel like tired, I don't sleep that well. I said, okay, so we talked that for a while. What about the social part? Tell me about how you interact with your parents, with your friends, with your loved ones. And many times then people say, yeah, actually, it's not going so well with my partner and I. And then they tell me, because of COVID, they just not communicating the way they would. The sex life has changed, and if you're living with somebody and there is no sex life, then that's already a huge source of stress and low mood. So you need to be able to ask the right questions at the right time, obviously, and definitely create a safe space to allow for those kind of conversations. So I always say everything is on the table, so don't feel embarrassed. But before you get to that stage when people can share that, you build some form of trust and relationship. So to answer your question, they typically come with very vague things, and then by the second time we speak to each other, then I really want to get to the root cause. But my main purpose of the first consultation is to build some level of trust, and I give them homework. I say, okay, but next week, write down the symptoms. Tell me exactly how you felt at that time. When we speak next time, we're going to talk about it, every single one of them. And because you give them the time, then they're much more open to tell you how really COVID has affected their lives in and out. And I'm not talking just about relationships, but I'm also talking about work environments, how they, it's affected their work, the way of working. So it's a huge, it's a hot mess, let's say.
Yeah. I can imagine, man. And how does it work after? Are you guiding them in that mental aspect, or do you refer them to another specialist?
Psychiatrist.
Yeah, so we lots of things have changed. We restructured our platform a lot more. We now have a mental health specialist. We have actually two. We have somebody who does mindfulness and yoga. She's going to be starting in UK with a very nice program where for 8 weeks she's going to be following people and teaching them mindfulness activities. And then we have a psychologist. She does a lot of our mental health clients, so anxiety, depression, those who really suffer from, I would would say a lot of them also the outcomes that we have of clients from other countries. So now we're noticing a lot of people suffer from severe forms of homesickness, right? So before, when you travel to other countries as a student, or maybe you work here as a young expat, because you have a social life, you're distracted, so you find ways to socialize and distract you of all the things that you're missing back home. But because of the isolation, we are very homesick, and that causes quite a lot of depression and low mood.
Yeah.
And so we are now working on like I mentioned, an 8-week program where we're going to tackle everything from anxiety to feeling of loneliness.
Yeah. That's so good. That's so good.
Let's say emotional abuse in the relationship at home.
Yeah.
Things that we need to tackle. And alcohol and let's say substance abuse is also on the rise. We see people consuming more alcohol than normal, taking a lot more soft drugs. This is we're dealing with a pandemic now, a virus, and I have a feeling that one day it will go away.
Yeah.
The mental health issues will stay around for a very long time.
Right.
Because we have certain questions for not only yourself but people around you, children.
Yeah.
Man, that's a harsh reality.
It is.
But it's I would say that it also gives us a good way to prepare for whatever is to come, and to also have in mind that hey, this is not just COVID in ways of this direct symptoms,
yeah,
but also the
also realize that if we are going to be open and very transparent about mental health issues, it doesn't mean that you are insane. It doesn't mean that you are, that you are crazy. It means that what you're responding to is all the thing is normal. And what I find very troublesome and quite hard to come to terms with is because of the difference in culture. It's very, if I just can say the African culture, there's a lot of pressure to complete the test. Like, you're going to school, you have to get good grades because, a lot of family members have rooted for you or finance your studies, or they want you to be the best. But then nobody takes into account that this is a whole different environment now that you're going to school. Online studying is not easy. Nobody went to school knowing they were going to do online, schoolwork. Nobody goes to school thinking, you're not going to see your friends and your colleagues for months and months.
True.
To see them through Zoom. And Zoom fatigue is now like, Zoom fatigue is become this kind of slogan that everybody uses, but it's real. And when you come out of meetings upon meetings online every day, and then you have to now excel in your homework, excel in your work.
Yeah.
It's another level of pressure. I mean, people don't understand it. And I think that as an African community, we need to take a break and say, if somebody's telling you they're tired, take them seriously. If you're noticing a change in somebody's behavior, they're being more reserved, more closed, they're maybe acting out or being angry quickly, take that seriously. Don't take it as, oh yeah, he's just, she's just being, this, or she's just we're out. No, these are signs that we need to, as a community, be serious about and say, hey, maybe there's something going on with that person's mental health. Okay, doesn't mean that they're crazy.
It just means that at that moment they need somebody to talk to. We have to do this, and I implore the whole African community, and every community, I don't even care what background you are. Once somebody tells you, look, I'm really tired, or they notice a change in their behavior, reach out. I'm not kidding. Please do it.
Yeah. Really brings it into perspective. We're talking to Dr. Sabine from Hello Doc, and it's a great pleasure to have her back on to talk about, our health matters, COVID-19, this past period, and what we as definitely the African people should be mindful of. We were just dealing with a small technical difficulties, but we're back on. So if you are listening, especially to the ones on the Facebook feed, do drop your questions as we are almost rounding up with Dr. Sabine, who gave us her time on this Easter Sunday. I know it's you put the jollof on pause for a bit, but it's so good to talk to you about this and really put things into perspective, especially the mental health part. I think that's really important. So just as you address, and you urge people to help others, what can you do? Should people call you? Should they find, your details, or are there specialists they should find? What are some of the ways that people can truly deal with this?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's talk, we're living in the era of COVID, so let's start with the basics. You have any symptoms, okay? And a lot of people say, yeah, but what symptoms? The most common symptoms, which typically occur, let's say, in the moment you are exposed to having symptoms, can last about 5 days. So somebody else is around you, they were sneezing, coughing. 2 days later, 5 days later, you start having symptoms which can begin with some fever, difficulties breathing, coughing, sore throat, and in physics, people actually just lose their sense of smell and taste.
Yeah.
Right already in that is a sign that you might have, contracted the virus. Regardless, regarding being in the Netherlands, just phone your local municipality. There's always a website to. And the day, thank you, yes. and they will, they have a number. There's always like COVID questions, whatever. Call them, go to the website, and don't speak Dutch. Find somebody who speaks Dutch who can do that, to help you do that, and make sure they book an appointment to get the test done. Okay. The most reliable test is a PCR test. That's a swab that they do in the nose and in the throat. A lot of people would say, I don't want that because it's been stories about how painful it is. It's not painful. I've had it done like 5-6 times. It just feels like a feather tickling the back of your nose. You might even wiggle a little bit, but nobody's got it. So please.
Yeah, absolutely not. Yeah.
Don't feel afraid and just get it done. And even if you're feeling anxious, I give you advice. I mean, you see the paracetamol before you go, like 4 times before you go, and you will be fine. The results typically take 24 hours. So once you have the results, then you know what to do. Okay, so that's step 1. If you are positive, you need to stay at home. Obviously, the guidelines or recommendations about 7 days isolate. And when I say isolate, I mean please stay at home because you are still transmissible. So if you are, even if you just have lots of sense of smell and taste, you still have the virus in you, and the moment you have the virus in you, transmit it either through droplets. So as I'm speaking now, little particles of spit are floating around the air, so that can be transmitted to other people. Hence the reason why when you go outside, wear a mask, because masks really do protect you from getting the disease, especially because you don't know who around you has symptoms. They might not even be symptomatic, but you can transmit the disease. So
Yeah.
things that we really need to understand. Now, the next thing what you can do is, for those who, for example, let's say are symptomatic, make sure you contact your GP. Now, what the GPs would typically do is speak to you on the phone because you're socially isolating, so there's no point in having put other people at risk. And will only come and see you at home if they feel like, hey, this is really bad. Like I mentioned that case of that young girl who I went to visit because her case was really severe.
Yeah.
And what typically can happen, it doesn't happen in your case, you can ask for it. You say, well, look, I don't really feel, well, general. Can I have something to monitor my breathing, my saturation, my blood pressure? And if the GP feels that it's also necessary, and they typically do, they'll send you a package at home. This is now being sponsored by the government, where GPs can actually just send a package with a saturation meter, with something that you put on your finger to measure your oxygen levels, a thermometer to measure your temperature, and a blood pressure measurement. And then you set some kind of appointment with your GP, and every day or every 2 days you send over the results, and you have to just do them like maybe 3 times a day. And that is a way that we can monitor you from a distance, right? And that gives a lot of people, and I've seen it myself, and I've done it with some clients, it gives them a peace of mind, some reassurance that, okay, I'm being monitored somehow, I'm just not left here to my own devices. It's very important that we know that is available. Another thing that you must absolutely do, if you feel that somebody else around you might be symptomatic and doesn't want you to reach out because they're scared, and I want to really say this, I understand that people are scared not not to tell others that they're sick because they might be at risk of unemployment. Because it is a true risk, right? If you now say I have symptoms, your boss will say, well, you can't come home. You might end up losing your job. A lot of people are generally scared of being unemployed, and unemployment leads to more financial problems, worry, stress, different other comorbidities. But it's still very important to realize that you can always get help through your local municipality for those who are facing unemployment. There are services to help you. For example, running behind on payments, the government has all these facilities now for small businesses to, knock on their door for help. I've used it myself because I'm a small business owner. So I've said, for example, to the taxpayer office and say, look, the last couple of months, although you see a spike in consultation, but there hasn't been enough for me to warrant saying that I can pay, all these taxes that are imposed. So I've been given like a 3-month
tax break.
To go payment, this spike. So please look at all your options because it is a good war. What I'm trying to say is that we know the consequences of this pandemic not only plays a toll on your physical health and your mental health, but it also plays a toll on your financial health. So look out for resources to help you do that. If you are stuck, no matter where you are in the Netherlands, and you still feel like, hey, I have no idea what she said, I need more information, yes, you can definitely contact us. So I think my details are all of my website, HiRadioNl. Is my number there. I get calls all the time. I pick up all my calls. So please feel free to contact me personally. I will definitely guide you and direct you to the next best place for you.
Thank you. Thank you very much for that. Before we let you leave, like I'm thinking in my head, good question could we still ask you before you leave? Could you also give us your advice on how we should deal with the news regarding antibodies, specifically, among the Ghanaians? Some article was published that most of the Ghanaians develop antibodies or things like that. People take it, of course, and they think we're just immune to COVID. What is your take on that and your warning to people? Yeah.
That is such a great question because I think one of the things I want to talk to you also is about the vaccine. Let's talk about the antibodies.
Yeah.
So we do become sick. Yeah. Okay. So your body naturally makes antibodies, right? So typically you have a virus in your body, and your soldiers say, hey, this is a strange thing. I'm gonna fight, and so your soldiers are fighting, and they kill some of that viral load. But what happens is that you create antibodies. It doesn't mean that you are immune to the rest of your life. Especially in this case, we don't know that. We don't know enough about COVID to say that you're going to have lifelong immunity. Unfortunately, we don't have enough evidence to show that people can be reinfected. So there is a chance that if you have the virus, the chance of you being reinfected is low. But if you do get reinfected, you might have lesser symptoms because you've now formed soldiers that are ready to attack and get you to be less sick, let's say, than the first time. Regardless of that, the fact that you might have had the antibodies still does not mean that you cannot transmit it. That's what I want people to understand. So
right.
There's a difference between having the antibodies is fine, it protects you, the antibodies protect you, but you can still walk around with the virus in your lungs, and you can still transmit it. But the antibodies does not kill all the virus in your body. That's the thing. You can be, if you survived COVID and you had very minor symptoms, I'm happy for you because I'm immune and you cannot make other people sick. Hence the reason why you should also still wear the mask, okay? Because you're protecting other people. You can still carry the virus later on. You can be symptomatic or pre-symptomatic, meaning that you don't have symptoms yet, but you still have the virus, even if you had contracted the virus before. So people really need to understand that antibodies does not mean that you cannot put other people at
risk. Okay. Nor does it mean that you cannot put yourself at risk.
Nor does it mean that you cannot be exactly. So
yeah.
I mean, we now know that there were families, so we had the African variant, we had the UK variant, we had the Brazilian variant. And it's just, all variants are just popping up left and right. So it doesn't mean that you cannot get another variant. The only thing that we do know about some of these variants is that, number one, they're highly transmissible. So when people were worried, a year ago about COVID, that particular variant being transmissible, now you have to be very, very, very worried about these ones because transmission rate is 70%, meaning that if you have that variant, you're going to be able to transmit 70% of that virus will go and affect somebody else. That's not good. It means that people who should not be sick will become sick because you didn't wear a mask, and you didn't because they didn't wear a mask. You see what I mean? The reason why it's important, especially in the African community at this stage, to not only take it seriously and not think that, oh, well, if I get vaccinated, I'll be okay. Yes, again, you're going to get vaccinated to create antibodies, but if you get it, you won't get very symptomatic.
Right.
That doesn't mean that you won't be transmitting it to other people.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things I wanted to also add with my time's up is that I would employ, again, especially in the ethnic minority communities, to please take the vaccinations. Yep. There is no secret codes in these vaccines. They're not trying to find out who you are. They're not doing experiments on us or no. It's really there to help you build an immune system so that if you get it, your symptoms will be lower. So you don't end up going to the ICU unit and having oxygen or intubated or suffering from the worst, symptoms. I just mentioned post-COVID symptoms. Very important. And I just want to also highlight why Africans should get the vaccine because unfortunately, compared to whites, Africans still have the highest level of comorbidities. Comorbidities meaning obesity. Comorbidities meaning hypertension. Comorbidities meaning diabetes. These three things are significantly, research has shown, are significantly associated with worse outcomes for people who suffer from corona. So, if you're black, wear a mask. If you're black, stay home and keep yourself safe and other people safe.
Yeah.
We love socializing. It's part of our culture. I know times like this now, you'll gather with family members.
Yeah.
Because you're having food, music, the whole thing. Fair enough. But until we get to the stage where we were in 2019, pre-COVID, we should not take any chances. I've seen it too often. People that I love, people that I know, I've seen, friends have passed away, the colleagues have had it. It's not a joke. Stay safe. Just please listen to the guidelines. We're not doing this because we want to put you, in prison and control your life. Trust me, that's the last thing we want. This has made our job a lot harder actually to build that trust. We're doing this really because we want to help you and your loved ones.
Thank you very much, Dr. Sabine. That was
Very
good.
much.
A
Very
very good
much
combo.
appreciated.
And you again gave me a lot to think about. And yeah, this was good. This was good. Addressing the mental health aspect and, some of the myths surrounding everything. And this was definitely good. We're for follow-up in soon, and see how everything is going to go. Now, for instance, my mom received a letter to get her vaccination and it came in via her GP. So even though they say the Dutch are picking up things slow, we hope that, the pace will be enough for somehow, because I know how the vaccine is done now is in 2 stages. And how it's going to go back to normal, I don't think they have disclosed how they, expect that to be, whether that would be life without mask or anything.
Well, I think you can safely say, and this is also extrapolating the data from the United States, I think it's safe to say that life without mask, don't think about it in the next year or two, for sure 2 years. Because we just don't know what this means. I mean, over 10 million people worldwide have been affected. Okay, and it's not really slowing down, especially if you're having all these variants coming up. Make mask wearing a thing. I love actually, I think because I think to myself as a doctor, when sometimes patients you tell me to open wide, stuff that come out, the breath that comes out of their mouth sometimes, you're like, okay, well, I wouldn't really like the mask at this time.
You're right. You're right. Having that steam come out of somebody, like, wait.
And now that you elevate this, people that gas out, nobody minds, like. Things that we put out the situation before the past. Nobody cares.
Right. Right.
Be conscious that you're wearing the mask to protect you from something else. And I think as a human race, as a community, we have a responsibility to make sure that we protect others. Why do we wear seatbelts? Why do we not drink and drive? It's not only to protect ourselves, but to also protect other people.
Sure.
So if we could look at mask wearing the way we do with seatbelts. I was able to tell my daughter yesterday, she was sitting at the back of the car, she was just. And I thought, okay, we're going. And the first thing she does, mommy, I haven't put my seatbelt on. I just looked at her. I'm so proud of you that you know that every time you get in the car, you put the seatbelt on first. That's how we should do that.
Yeah.
The moment you get out of your house and you're going to other people, the mask is there.
Right.
Normalize it.
Normalizing it. Yeah. Good. Good to have you back on, Dr. Sabine. Thanks a lot for your time. Yeah. Yes, we're really looking forward to that, and it's worth having you back on. The talks that we have with you on the podcast platforms are one of the highest listened to. So that's it's really
helping us,
it's helping us.
Yes,
Absolutely.
definitely.
Most definitely.
I'm very passionate about it. If you ever need some brainstorming with when you're talking to municipalities,
Sure.
let me know. I'm in talks with insurance companies also regarding the mental health thing.
Right.
So, we definitely do the same thing about the pros coming, just to help
Yeah.
people. So,
Okay.
Love that.
Yeah,
Looking
yeah,
forward to
yeah,
that.
yeah.
We'll definitely keep in touch. Have a good evening,
Thank-
and we'll catch up next time. All right.
All right,
Bye
cheers.
bye.
Bye bye.
You know what I thought of when she talked about the seatbelt thing?
Well,
When you're in Ghana, like I make it a habit to put my seatbelt on, but there's like, let me
I
not
don't
put
wanna-
seatbelt. That's what it just quickly reminded me of. That's so that was that was kind of
they
funny.
will look at you like, "What are you doing?"
They be like, listen, seatbelt where? Seatbelt where? See? Does it start with an S? Yeah. It's pretty well. But this was a good talk. I think that
man.
mental health aspect is really worth, looking into, because that's pretty much the aftermath of everything. And a lot of times we don't understand why our behavior is wired in a certain way. But if we understand the relations to these happening, a pandemic, craze right in the family home, I think that we will be able to connect the dots a little better.
Exactly.
Yeah, very much so. All right. Thank you so much for just want to give a shout out to a few people. Mami Abena, who says, Miss, I work at the health center, and what she's saying is truth. I can't hear all what she said, but some that I'm able to get is what we all have been taught. Shout out to you. Shout out to you, Mena Ama, who says, can we please have this woman back next week? I can see she's saying a lot of helpful things, but there was just a technical issue. Thank you for that, Mena Ama. We will do our best to do a follow-up, with Dr. Sabine very soon, and so that we can get the tech issues right. Thank you all for listening. This is Africa in Focus. It's 8:30 p.m. coming to you live from the city of Amsterdam. It's an Easter celebration, and we just talked to Dr. Sabine about our health to discuss the important issue relating to the health of Africans in the diaspora and the truths, myths, and facts surrounding COVID-19. We will be going on to our news flash in a bit to discuss what's going on in our world. But first, let's listen to some records to get the high vibe going. We'll be right back with myself and Donnie. Let's go.
I'm the one.
This is a story of a child who was blessed of God. Young boy from Africa winning the world for God. Like this on your channel, these boys so trying to channel rapping who could get his way and they win the soul. Pure bliss up if I want another most is the day. But I need Jesus my soul. Honestly, when I see people singing my songs and praising the Lord, I feel blessed up. It's an honor to be used as a vessel. They told me, Nolly, you lucky you came up too fast. Though I tell them that a blessed man is a blessed man. Yeah, I don't believe in luck, I believe in blessings.
I am the one who God has blessed. The one who God has blessed. I am the one who God has blessed. I'm the blessed of God. I am the one who God has blessed. The one who God has blessed. I am the one who God has blessed. Oh, I'm the blessed of God. I am the one who God has blessed. The one who God has blessed. I am the one who God has blessed. Oh, no, blessed of God. I am the one who God has blessed. Oh, nah, nah, nah. I am the one, yes, I am the one. Oh, yes. I will tell it everywhere I go. I will tell it everywhere I go. I'm telling everyone I know that Jesus is love. I will tell it everywhere I go. I will tell it everywhere I go. I'm telling everyone I know. Yeah.
Yo, who got this blessed? No man can curse, yeah. Yes, I'm the best, no one can test, yeah. And when connect up in the high places, no matter what, always on top, yeah. Life is super wavy when you're living in Christ. I be something on challenges like the ocean wave tides. I live life on the mountain top. City set and then hill, I go shine cause I be light. It's the story of my life. Chine do mokwa muna chimso. On the maro nezi wafamu buchuku non. So my God's got me. I'm not scared what man would do to me. Don't you know who God is blessed? No man can curse, yeah. And every time I try to count my blessings, I realize I can't comprehend it with my senses. I'm blessed beyond material things, man, I'm made for life. I'm the blessed of God, and what I got word. And every time I try to count my blessings, I realize I can't comprehend it with my senses. I'm blessed beyond material things, man, I'm made for life. I'm the blessed of God, and what I got word.
The one who God has blessed. The one who God has blessed. I am the one who God has blessed. I'm the blessed of God. I am the one who God has blessed. The one who God has blessed. I am the one who God has blessed. Oh, I'm the blessed of God. I am the one who God has blessed. The one who God has blessed. I am the one who God has blessed. Oh, no, blessed of God. I am the one who God has blessed. Oh, nah, nah. I am the one, yes, I am the one. Hey guys, turn my headphones a little bit louder. Yeah. Get to you. Yeah. Give thanks every single day. Get to you. Yeah. Give thanks every single day. Day after day, as I wake up, I pray. I will give God the praise. Yeah, yeah, come lead the way. Day after day, as I wake up, I pray. I will give God the praise. Yeah, yeah, come lead the way. Get to you. Yeah, give thanks every single day. Get to you. Give thanks every single day. You think say you be nothing, no, but this thing you be something, no. Papa God give me everything, no. You know say you give me everything, no. In my trust 24/7. Trust no man, man, I want go heaven. So I still every day, God, yeah, we gon' make up. No matter how we dey, trust you, we gon' make up. Yeah, as I wake up every morning, I give thanks to that day. Yeah, you don't wake me every morning when you dey make I dey feel alright. Yeah, day after day, as I wake up, I pray. I will give God the praise. Yeah, yeah, come lead the way. Day after day, as I wake up, I pray. Ooh, at the praise. Yeah, yeah, come lead the way. Get the
Man, and Flexclusive is a whole vibe with this record. Give thanks. I'm just loving that. Shout out to Flexclusive, who recently dropped his latest EP. You should definitely check him out. A Ghana artist from the Netherlands. He does it all. Definitely check that out. And before that, you listen to Bless of God, collaborating with Marizu on Positive Vibes this Easter Sunday. Man. And here we are back again. What's been going on in this crazy world, Donnie? What's been going on?
A lot. There's always something going on.
There is always something going on. Positive, negative. I mean, that's the usual day.
I feel for media, and I feel for, let's say, news, television stations, like the broadcasts and stuff, because on one hand you want them to broadcast as many or cover as many news as they can, but then on the other end there's just too much to cover. So that's sometimes that's what we've been dealing with, right? We'll make our news flash, we have a list of topics.
We don't even get through half.
We don't even get through half of it. So there's so much happening. So where do we even start? Do we start with the Dutch one? Because that was pretty big.
Yeah, you have to really explain it to me, because I did read about it. People have lost trust in the Dutch president and things like that. But I honestly don't know what it's about. So if you can clarify, that would be great.
Oh, well, yeah, in a nutshell. So they just had their elections.
Yeah.
It was like 2 weeks ago, early March.
Which they won, right?
Which, let's say, the largest party, the one that was seen for the past 4 years, won again. So that means that their leader, who was their prime minister, who's
been it for the last 10 years, which surprises me, actually.
Yes.
No, because I thought every democracy was like max 8 years, right? But it doesn't count for every.
No. He came in with the other party and then prolonged.
Right.
So that's how he's sitting for 10 years. So basically, he's about to run another 4 years or sit on another prime minister position.
Yeah.
However, before the new party, in the Dutch system, it works that you have multiple parties within the parliament. And before they would start ruling, there has to be a lot of discourse with the old parties and the new parties, this and that, all of that. And in one of their first conversations, or one of their first discourse, there was a political blunder. Let's put it that way, a blooper, if you want to put it as that.
So this is not the child care benefits thing, right?
No. That's totally different. And they handled that the way they handled it. So-called, they left office, or they resigned.
Yeah.
Only to be re-elected 2 months after. So that was a whole astonishing.
They're walking right in the smoke.
That's it. So you have that, and then so the blooper really was that the notes of one of the first conversations or discourses about the reforms or about the new House of Representatives were leaked. How was it leaked? One of the ladies who sat on the board, and there were two of them, advisors, in this, they are the critical individuals or positions in this discourse for transitioning into the new parliament. One of them caught COVID, upon which she received a call to actually go home to isolate right away.
Okay.
And then upon her departure, she left office, and as she was going into her taxi, she had her notes written on a paper. However, she had turned the paper sideways to let's say to the environment or to the surroundings. So the media coverage were there, the media people, paparazzi, let's put it that way.
What
paparazzi were there.
did?
They took a picture of her, and as later on, if you zoomed in the pictures, you could clearly see the notes from that conversation. The conversation earlier that day is confidential.
Yeah.
And with transitioning of parliaments, of House of Representatives, they mostly use outsiders, right, to come in and to set up the conversations that had to be go around. Why? Because there's so much information, confidential information about whomsoever different leaders of party leaders within that same House of Representative, and that has to go around.
Right.
So they don't let the same people talk to each other. They'll have let's say independent advisors come in, consult, and they will carry the message on to the other leaders.
There's an order to it.
Yes. So she leaked that information, or not purposely,
Is she
of
called
course.
Omtzigt? Is he the one?
No,
Oh.
but one of the notes referred to this opposition leader
Okay.
named Omtzigt.
Okay.
And what makes this issue so delicate or so controversial is the fact that this Omtzigt, he has gained the name or the appreciation of the people because he's the one in office always challenging the voice of Rutte.
Right.
And always challenging the voice of the dominant party within the parliament. So he's now at home, sick, burnout, right? And
this Omtzigt guy.
This Omtzigt guy is at home, sick, burnout. And the note literally read, position Omtzigt outside. So it translated, it simply meant, all right, so what are we going to do about this position of Omtzigt? Though he's not in office, however, when he comes back, do we still want him in the House of Representatives?
Right.
And it was the past few 2 years or 4 years, they it's like he's so powerful, like in the public eye,
right,
that he's using that momentum to challenge. So it's really some will view him as he's let's say an obstacle. So if you read such a note, you would see that they're trying to get rid of him, and that is the whole it's a whole thing behind the scenes going on. Now up front is so one of the first questions was, all right, did they really discuss this Omtzigt situation? Do they really want him out of office whilst he's at home, from a burnout which he carried through his job and through his tasks within the ministry? So it is how you actually go about with your colleagues. And they asked the Prime Minister, did you know about this? And he denied it, like, we didn't talk, no one asked this lady to discuss this wasn't discussed at all. And then it appeared later on that he lied about that. So now yes, so now he himself, he's on the line. So whether he's going to be the Prime Minister with the new House of Representatives or not, that's to be decided. However, his position is looking really shaky at this moment. So it's on to his party to decide what are they going to do with him. So with their leader, are they going to vote him out, or are they going to keep him, or can he still be in the House of Representatives, the parliament, and they will vote another party's leader to be the Prime Minister? So that's also an option. But
is it?
Yeah, that's all. That's an option.
But that party should have a majority.
Yep, right? Yeah, because or they will choose the number 2 on the list.
PVV people then.
This is the PVV people.
But isn't it like the
the PVV is the second?
They have gotten a lot of.
Yeah, they lost some seats though, right? But however, it will go to the PVV.
So how come this leakage itself is not highlighted, but rather the what's it called,
the note about its Omtzigt? Yeah, because
people don't care about the fact that it's leaked. It's basically content that is taken more.
No, they do care about the fact that it's leaked. So when you leak something, right, especially concerning to House of Representatives, like the new one and the old one, right? That is, the note simply was suggesting points to discuss within the coming month, right? In discussion. And so it didn't specifically say, okay, this is what we're going to do with it, but it just simply said, this is what we have to discuss.
Right.
So the fact that they have Omtzigt, his name on paper, the question is,
Shows
why
what
do
they
you
discuss, yeah.
why do you want to discuss
what does this guy
this
even look like?
man's
Let me check
position?
out.
Man,
I
and
am so curious.
I watched an interview Omtzigt gave, right? And it was so, you could tell that he was literally drained. When we talk about burnout, he was literally sitting there in the interview and with his wife next to him, and they were asking him like, okay, this and that, and how do you feel, how do you have hope, and this about the current the elections and etc. And he was talking, and he said, you know what, I've given so much of myself already, but I'm looking forward to come back as strong than before. But he broke down in tears, like, you know, that kind of stress.
Wasn't he the Minister of Health?
No,
because wasn't that other one who also stepped down because he had
I'm
so bad at
many
this.
people
Lord
have been stepping
help
down.
man, that's this mental health issue that should be talked about, right? Man, we'll keep an eye on this.
We have to, because
Dutch Parliament.
Who
is
knows?
A mess.
Rutte might not be the prime minister for coming 4 years, which will be very controversial and surprising.
Yeah. Oh man, interesting, very interesting. Well, we should definitely keep an eye on that. Let's look at what's going on in Africa, because I know this Dutch thing is going to keep up.
Yes.
What's up with those Namibians? Namibia celebrated its 31st Independence Day this month, which is March. But Namibians are not in a festive mood. Oh my gosh. A 2019 survey by Afrobarometer, the Independent African Research Network, showed a significant loss of trust in the country's governance. Namibia, man. I did some research on Namibia because it's a country that I know relatively, small about. Okay. I know it was German colonized, and they're still dealing sometimes with, what's it called? Some issues within the ethnic groups, because their ethnic group is a lot of whites even still. And 2020 became like a year like no other since independence in 1990, as the COVID-19 pandemic compounded the effects of a prolonged recession, which began in 2016. The legitimacy of the former liberation movement, the Southwest Africa's People Organization, in short SWAPO, has steadily been eroded due to a combination of factors. These have included socioeconomic decline, SWAPO's increasingly outdated populist narrative, financial scandals, isn't this the usual when it comes to African leaders, and elite self-enrichment. In addition, opposition has grown in the form of electoral support for new parties. They were actually dependent to South Africa in 1990, which is I'm learning, and it won election by huge margins, enabling it to entrench its power like other former liberation movements. Its legitimacy centered on the idea that citizens owed the party unconditional loyalty in return for liberation. Man, it's going downward spiral. That's really what this is saying. Economy on the rocks, corruption, battle for legitimacy, and a lot of chaos happening. So days before Namibia's independence on 21st March 1990, a poem on a wall in what used to be a compound for contract labor as "Now that the Namib sings and the tear of the Katura child washed away, who will keep the fire burning?" After 31 years of independence, the answer remains pending. All right. Oh man, what you normally see of this is a lot of migration is going to happen.
So people are going to leave the country?
Yeah, definitely. From what I hear from those, my contacts based in South Africa, probably going to go to South Africa because of work, that the economy of South Africa remains closest to what we know in the West. A lot of unrest. And I this is not so good news.
No, but hey, 30 years, 40 years young, that's what that nation really is. They literally, they're a baby. They still have to find their way.
Right.
Yeah, so.
Right. Well, let's keep an eye on that. It was worth sharing because Namibia, man.
But it's frustrating because COVID, yeah, in your infancy, you don't need something like this, a pandemic at all.
You don't.
So that is definitely crippling them to the extreme measure. Yes.
Yeah.
So they're really being tested.
Man, it's serious. My gosh. And going back to last time we discussed last news items that Akon's wife was seriously looking to invest in the film industry of Uganda. What did we hear the latest on Akon? Because he arrives and listen, Akon is like on his way, aside from his surprisingly fresh hairline, because it looks extra.
Do you suspect Akon of
it looks too black. You know, that kind of black that's like dyed
black.
You know what I mean?
Black and dyed and black.
But anyway, he is, slightly making his way up to become this African guru. And it's smart. Do
you think it's gonna make it?
You know what? I'm hopeful. Basically because I don't want to be that negative black lady. You know what I mean? And there are quite a few that are on that road. Like this other one we also hosted in Ghana, I Am Freedom. If you look him up on Instagram, I'm Freedom. He has switched his name so many times I don't even know which name to give, but a powerhouse in real estate. Bediako is his last name, but obviously he goes by the name of Caesar Freedom. He is also on his way to that. So you have a few of our Africans that are slightly making themselves not to just be entrepreneurs, but they're topping the entrepreneur. They're kind of like, what's the word for it? It's not entrepreneurs. It's
moguls.
Mogul, but even more than that, because this is more than mogul stuff,
Icon.
Right? Akon City, a coin. Getting your coin, that's almost like you're seeing something?
Nana Kwame Bediako.
We should
net worth 2 to 5 billion.
Right. We should definitely talk about that African moguls thing.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I don't know the word that tops a mogul, but him, Akon and stuff, those are the kind of people that are on that road. But anyway, Senegalese singer and investor Alianu Thiam-Badara, also known as Akon, arrived to the country of Uganda, and the singer was welcomed by Abe Walusimbi, the senior presidential advisor on diaspora affairs, fellow musician and tourism ambassador Eddie Kenzo, and other government officials. Of course, they say we thank God for granting Journey Mercies that have delivered our son Akon. They've adopted him as a son safely to Uganda, and according to Isaac Kigozi, the trade and investment officer in the office of the president, the singer's visit will be of great benefit to Uganda. Fasting forward, Akon in 2018 announced plans to establish a 6 billion futuristic pan-African smart city in Senegal, dubbed Akon City, and supported by the Senegalese government. The 1,800-hectare solar powered city will feature shopping malls, music studios, tourist resorts, among other attractions. And Uganda hopes that the singer can reciprocate the same there. So, what do you think?
Do it. Just do it.
I know. Yeah, he should definitely do it. You should definitely go for it. The freedom is there, and what I've noticed, in Africa is knowing the right powerful people to get that done.
Yeah.
You should definitely be on that type of road, or else you could find yourself in a danger zone, because I know of when you want to tread upon some territories and you cross the leaders, everything, they will kill you.
Yeah. If you don't move right.
You don't move right, exactly.
Or correctly. Yes,
exactly.
Definitely. So it's all about the networking thing, and that he has to do. He has to do his due diligence on that, and see the right people at the right time, and
at the right
he
time,
can really make it happen. what, Abu Dhabi or Dubai were built in
Man.
what, 30 years.
Say that again.
So imagine, I can really see Akon City happening in 20 years.
Yeah.
In Africa on
Yeah.
the soil.
Yeah, I hope it will be, very soon. Let's say 5 to 10 years. It could really attract tourism. It could attract
much.
new opportunities that Senegal could use.
Yeah.
And a lot of other countries could model. That could definitely be one. But the thing is, let Black people trust. Just put some trust in the guy.
That's it.
That's all we need.
That's all we need.
That's all we need, because that seemed to be our problem.
That is. And here and there, trust me, those trials will come to him.
Oh yeah.
Like he will have some of his closest partners will probably
Right.
conspire against him. That's
Right.
going to be that's going to happen, definitely. But the thing is, if you have a lot more close brothers or loyal brothers around you, they will pick them out for you. So I hope he surrounds himself with more loyal friends or brothers and sisters, and who are going to protect him. I want him. He's married, right? So yeah, he was married. He should get some good sisters on his side too.
I know,
because
right?
men tend to kind of like move around with men. However, successful men, most successful men,
is it
move around with women.
Is it?
It's a secret. We'll dive into it.
We should.
One
We should
time.
definitely do that. We should
Yeah.
definitely do that. Absolutely. I can see that being a very good idea. All right. Well, we're rounding up Africa on Focus in a bit, in 1 minute. Africa on Focus is brought to you by Austin.com, which is your branding and communication platform. If you need your person, your personality, your business, or anything to be branded, you should definitely contact www.byaustin.com. Also, are you looking for web hosting or full service website? Then Be Artist is the platform to be. Be Artist is a Black owned, African owned business that anywhere where you are in the world, they can facilitate you a domain name, everything. Look on their website, www.beartist.eu. If you missed any episode of Africa on Focus, you can watch the recaps on Facebook, and also you can find the podcast on the Spotify, all of the streaming platforms. You can find us there. Just type in Africa on Focus. You'll see my face there and catching the conversation that myself and Donnie had with the most interesting global Africans. So make sure that you look for that. Also, a shout out to you for listening and taking us through these 2 hours. Make sure that you follow me on Insta at MS.ABA or MS.ABA. That's what I was saying. Donnie is he's the ghost
in the streets.
On he doesn't want any digital association, but that's all right.
Or find me on Clubhouse.
Oh, Clubhouse. Okay.
But over there, I'm also a ghost. It's like
You're also ghost. You have no name, nothing.
No,
Oh, it
it's just find me on Clubhouse though. What's popping group? Yeah.
Look out for that. And of course, you'll meet Africa on Focus every Sunday from 7 p.m. on High Radio, the voice of the next generation. Make sure that you stay healthy. Interact with us. Share this on your timeline and wherever you go. And we will be catching you next week. Let's go and do this. And let's get ready for the new week, man. I think it's time for some good music. And let's catch a vibe.
Y'all know how we do it. Feeling sad, feeling lonely, feeling disappointed, broken hearted. Feels like you know that real friends, no more besties, no buddy. See, I did for you every day, every night. Call upon me and I will answer in times of need. Emergency, I will be there. Cause when you go through the fire, I will be there. When you go through the water, I will be by your side. Any day, anytime, we are there for you. So when you need somebody, and you got nobody, See my God, yeah, any day for ya. So when you need somebody, and you got nobody, I got it, yeah. Step into the I mean, you come on, I tell me more. I mean, you should be you look, I should be the breath, forget him more. This still, me no, you know, look better me, yeah, my foot, look better me, yeah, my foot, tell me more. I am the God whose words I day and name. The same in the past, today, forever, amen. So when you need me, call me, I'll be there. And I said,